Hello, folks. This is Shippy Explorer. Welcome back to this station and a great experience that we do offer from this end. Um, Today, the tape starts here, and although I look so happy, I'm not so happy. It's so sad. I'm really disappointed today because because for for more than 2 weeks now, have been looking for a certain item or items in the household, and it's I just kind of find it. And I've searched. You see me looking in boxes. We're looking under the chairs, and looking under the benches and all that. I'm looking for I'm looking for a box that contains something that is so precious to me. Um, have looking for looking for it. So it's never wasn't even looking for that thing. I just wanted a magnifying glass to do some reading at the book signing this past weekend, and that box had two magnifying glasses that I could read some old antique coins that I had. So I've been storing coins from no over 60 years now, and I was lucky enough to have those coins from um, 1862 British coins mainly, and it was a great collection. And somehow I can't put my hands on it. So it's so sad when you lose things. But I wish I had my wife's art and thinking, because she says if she loses anything and misplace anything and she can't find it, um, and her heart does not leap, then it's somewhere in the house. And so the other day she could not find her car keys, and we looked up and down under the cabinet, in boxes, on the clothes and pockets, everywhere, and we could not find that car key. And so, after about, I think, a day or so of looking for the car key, I decided to go out and get a new set for her. So I drove up to one car place that produces keys, and then I decided not to get it there. I decided to go to the dealership. And when I went to the dealership, it and I ordered the keys, they said I couldn't get the keys because if my name is not on the title, I could not get it. And I said, my name is on the title, man. What's going on? My name is on the title. They say you have to prove it. So I went outside and I got into the car and I found the title paper, and when I hold and behold, my name was on it. And so I came back into the dealership and I hand them the slip, and they're looking out. I say, you can look. You can look to see if I prove that my name is on it. And they looked and they proved. So we ordered the key. And then I drove off. Very expensive key. And I said, oh man, where my wife could have put that set of keys. And as soon as I reached on the road, another half an hour, she called me that I found the keys. I was doing something and just put the keys down and absent-mindedly just dropped it somewhere. So I wish I had what did I do? I just tell you the end of the story of that. I had to end up calling the dealership and cancel that big expensive one car key costs almost over $500. I'm not going to tell you what type of car it is. I tell you, there are only certain cars that keys would cost that much. But it's an electronic key, and it has all the gadgets in it and all sort of things. So I wish I had her mindset that if I lose something, I am and her heart doesn't leap, then it's somewhere around. But I've lost this. I've been looking for these items for over a week now, and I looked everywhere in the house. I can't help you. I can't. If you'll be surprised to see places I've gone, and so I'm coming to the reservation that maybe it's not in a box. It's not in a box, and I hope it is somewhere stashed around. That's my hope. And she says, give it a break, and hopefully one day it will pop up. But the point is that I am so disappointed whenever I lose something, and I'm wondering if you can relate to that type of feelings, because Shippity Explorer, I don't do well when I lose something. I can't find it. It's a matter of, it's really a disappointing feeling. So, should I give it a break or not? No, I'm still gonna hope that I'll find it. But since I'm talking about loss in that sense, let me talk about loss. We talk about loss and losing small items, little things that that are important to you. I remember getting a very lovely set of pens, a pen set from a friend of mine who have just passed. And I was traveling to Jamaica, man, and showing off with my nice pen. And then the flight was going from, reached Miami. And the flight, when you take the flight to Miami and you're taking off from Miami to landing to Kingston, somewhere along the line, they hand you a piece of paper, immigration paper, to say, okay, you need to fill out your name and flight number and all that, and address and who you are, and passport number and all that. And I took out that lovely pen and I filled that form out. And then when the plane landed, I must have dropped the pen inside the plane. And here I am on a wait outside and can't find the pen. And I feel so bad that a friend had given me a very expensive pen, and then I lost it. And then you're at the airport. You can't go back inside and you can't go back into the plane. Once you exit the plane, they don't allow you to go back. And so that has sat with my soul and my mind for years. And you may think you may think that Shippity Explorer is on the stupid side because he's worried about little things. But I don't think is that. I think the idea is that when you lose something, whether small or large. I think it does something to your psyche. It does something to your heart. It does something with your emotions. For days, I think and for weeks and sometimes for years, you are in a somewhat sad state for losing. You don't do it. You don't stay in those conditions for perpetually, but ever so often, when you remember that you had lost the pen, you had lost your book, you had lost a document, an important document, a records book that you have been documenting your family history and all that, or your church's history, and you took it on the bus, and here you are, you're traveling, and somehow you must have dozed away, and the document slid out of the folder and into some crevice. And then here you are. When you reach home after a couple of days or so, you're looking for this document and you can't find it. So these are the things that that sometimes drive me crazy. I'm not sure if I'm the only one that happens to. Now here we are. You're gonna see. Let's see. I'm still searching. I'm looking in the library to see if I see that container, cause I can't believe that container was here all this while, and now um I can't find it. And you can't tell me that I should go. Nope. Well, my wife is saying I must just relax myself. But I can't relax myself and say, come to the library and get a book and take out, for instance, the Tales of the Arabian Nights and sit down and read and feel contented. Maybe if I take out the Nelson Mandela Long Walk to Freedom, maybe that will allow me to feel better, and maybe a journey into diplomacy. There's another book. Maybe I could read one of those books and feel elated and take my mind off of the loss. But I tell you, ever so often, the idea of can't finding the item is gonna come back to haunt me. And so I think, I'm wondering if that has happened to you too. Is that a case of let me just relax in the library and see if that my mind can be rejuvenated and find that what I'm looking for. So let's talk about the idea, your emotions of that comes across. It overtakes your whole body. The whole idea of loss. And so another story is that I'm a construction Super Explorer is a builder. And here we are. I came to the United States and I go to the yard sale and I bought some old tools. And then a person who had some World War II tools as a carpenter, I bought those whole hammers and saws and drills and everything. And now my toolkit was ready. I could go out and do some manual work, extra work for people. I could do some carpenter work, I could do some fix-up work, and I could do, some remodeling. And here I am, have my whole Chevy van, and I store the tools inside there. And then one day, I locked up the van and parked it at the metro, and then went to work. And because after work I was planning to just come on the metro and jump in the van and go and do some extra work that I had an assignment to do. And guess what? Hey, you're thinking right, man. The doggone van was broken into, and every one of those tools were gone. They came into the van and they broke into the van, I'm telling you, one more time, and they took away all those tools. How you think I feel? How you think I feel? I felt violated. I felt the violation. I wasn't even hungry about the loss as much, but I feel violated for somebody to come in and take a personal item. And then again, I felt so bad because the work was scheduled for that day, and at that time when I schedule work to do, when I have responsibility to do, rain or shine, Shippy the Explorer is just I'm destined to do it. I don't want to schedule. I don't want anything to disappoint me from stopping from doing that work. If I'm on assignment, I'm looking forward to it. And here I come. The bloody van was empty. Not even the toolboxes they left. They just took everything out of the van and gone. I felt like somebody had dragged me out into the street and took off my pants and left me naked. That's how it felt bad. And if it was new tools, I wouldn't feel so bad because, I say, okay, maybe I could go and buy back new, replace them of the store. But when you, Shippy Explorer is somebody that likes history, likes whole things, whole items, whole tools, whole coins, whole clothes, whole cars, anything to bring back the history in around me. I like them. Those tools were from World War II. And somebody just came in and just took them like that. So losing those tools were really bothersome to me. Really bother my mind. And until now, that was more than 20 years ago. And until now, Shippy the Explorer is still remembering that case. Let's go on the balcony to see if maybe, let's see. Let's go. It's raining in Maryland. But let's see what we can get some fresh air outside here. Look, maybe if I come outside and look down the bushes and observe the trees and the rain, things will be better. But as soon as I looked and I'm refreshed with feelings and I look back on myself, the mind swing back to the lost, to the fact that I cannot find certain item. And I'm not going to curse on the tape, but it's not a pretty feeling. And you start to think, this is what you do. You start, if you live around other people. In my case, I don't live around other people except my cobweb. Wow. I don't live around living around a lot of folks. So where did I put that item? Why I can't put my hands on it? It's a mystery. It's a mystery. Yeah. The lost of things and things misplaced, you can't put your hands on it, is really bothersome. So I can revert back to the reason why I can't find it. Let's assume that box of old coins is in the house somewhere. I must have put it away so good that I can't find it. So let's assume that it's in the house. And can I relax? Heck no, I can't relax. I can maybe do something around that issue. But then, why can I not find the item? And then I'll revert to one other problem. As we get old, as we get feeble, as we climb up in age and we turn like fine wine, we find that our minds and our limbs do not work in conjunct with each other. Sometimes you're coming in with an item, say for instance the keys, and you walk into the house and you think about dinner And as soon as you think about dinner, or you hear the baby, if you're young enough and you have babies around, you hear the baby crying, you say, oh, my baby, the left arm, just put the keys down or put your wallet down to drop it one side, and then you're gone. Your attention is with the child or with on food, or you want to go use a bathroom or something. You don't remember. Your left hand is doing what it wants, and your mind is set on the other. And so, after about an hour or two, or the next day, when you want to find your keys, or you want to find that book, or you want to find that pen, or you want to find your wallet, or the car keys again, to get out of the house so you can go to work, hold and behold, you can't find it. And here now, you're trying to connect the mind to the harm, and that's not going to work. It's not going to work one bit, because when you took that action in dropping the keys absent-mindedly, the left hand or your hands doesn't have a brain to tell the other brain, the regular brain, that's where you drop the keys, and so you're at a loss. And so that's the problem with getting hold and not able to concentrate mentally, that you have placed an item. So what they call it is misplacement. But your heart is racing whenever you want that item. Whenever you're ready to get out of the house and you can't find your keys, man, you start to think all sorts of crazy stuff. And what you have to do sometimes is just stop in your tracks and think about destiny. Think about destiny, because you're saying, if you stop and say, if I can't find the keys right now, maybe there's a reason for that. Because if I find the key at this moment and go on the road, maybe I would run into the traffic, or maybe I run into an accident. So sometimes you have to think like that. Say, all right, let's nature do its thing. Let yourself fall into destiny, and let your body fall into the action, the evolution of life, and let what may come, let it come, and adjust your thinking or mindset around that issue. So, you say you can't find the keys, relax and think. There's a reason for it. Because old age. And you can drink all the liquor you want, or drink all the medicine you want, or something like that. Sometimes you go change your nutrition, and you get special drink, and beetroot and watermelon, all sorts of things they say to help your brain set, your brain to function better, carrot juice and all that. And sometimes we make it worse, because we're so sad, we go and take a shot of vodka or a shot of whiskey, and then the brain is even worse off with the shot of whiskey, because now you're affecting the electronics of your mind, because the alcohol has caused some deviation in how you think. So you have made it worse. So what do? You're getting older. You just have to accept the fact that your thinking is not as good. So you have lost those items over the years, and I still remember. So now I'm going into a serious matter. because we are talking about loss. The fact that you have lost small items, you have lost big items, and you have lost now the bigger item is that you can lose your car. And I don't want this to happen to anybody right now, but I'm just reminding myself in this, since we are talking about loss, we're just talking about that. Yeah, you can park your car somewhere in along the road and gone to work, or you're gone to into the bank, or gone to the store, and the grocery store, whether clothes, or gone to the clothes store, and then when you come out with your groceries or with your clothes and the boxes and bags of all sorts of things, the car is not there. Somebody has stolen your car, and there you go. You feel now. If you have experienced that, you can write tell Shippy the Explorer you have experienced something like that. But that's what I call getting into the pits of hell. I'm telling you, Shippy the Explorer is saying that's one of the hardest things to face. Because here you are, you have the keys in your hands, the car is gone. Sometimes you don't even remember your the plate. You don't even remember which the number on the car. You don't even remember which insurance. Now your mind starts to race and you don't remember that your insurance is such and such. You have to start to relax and figure out where do you go from there. You have to know the license plate. You have to know which insurance. You have to know all those things that make up the car, the color. Sometimes you're so distraughted you don't remember the color of the car. You have to relax and figure that out. Then you call the police and report it. But in your mindset, I think any one of us, we're pissed. You're upset and to the bone. And you don't necessarily feel hungry. Sometimes you feel even upset with your own self that I should have paid more attention to where I parked the car, all that. I should. And that's where you start to blame yourself. Don't blame yourself. This is part of life. And some of us are experiencing lost left and right as we go along. Small item, big items, and here we are. We are distraughted. So when we misplace things, we tend to blame ourselves, or you don't worry. But if there's a big mistake of when you have a lot of people living around you, the mistake we make is blame others. And you start to say, who moved this and who took up that? And you start to assume that the item was taken away or moved to another position by the other person living in the household. So that's not good, because you're creating tension and all that in your household, apart from losing the thing. Yeah. So that's so I continue to look. I will look for these things. I'll look for my coins. They were, because they were in, say, some people say I shouldn't worry because it's material stuff. But when you take pleasure in collecting a certain, you're avid collector of stamps, or you're a coin collector, or you're a tool collector, you're a camera collector, and you have all these items, and you have them on display, and whenever you can't find them, or whenever there's a big violation of, say, somebody break into the house and take away these things, you feel violated. Feel violated. So that's just one. There's all these type of emotions coming out when you depends on how you can find things or how you lose things. And then we go to one of the ultimate, the loss of a family member or friend. And just have to remind myself at this moment we have friends who Shippity have lost. And it's mainly friends, and some people who I know, if they see this tape, they'll know who it is, because we have been losing some close friends, especially from the church and all that. So you know who I'm talking about. But how do you handle that higher level lossage? How do you handle that? You have to, as a religious person, that is important. That's an important base, because from that base we do accept the fact that we are expected to live this life. We are born, we live, and then we expect to die sometime, and we, with the religious and the Christian teaching, we put our trust in that lesson, in that concept, in the mindset that we are being enfolded by our ultimate God as we pass from this earth. And so as Christians, it really helps that we have that base to look forward to rely on, really. And if you're not a Christian, and so and you have faced loss, then what do you do? You have to turn towards friends and family, and good friends and family too, who have your heart in their hands and understand how to really talk to you and work with you. Sometimes you don't even have to say anything, just stay there and be a comfort to the person. Because sometimes when we run our mouth up around this issue and we said we know, sometimes you don't know how the person feels in terms of losing a loved one. So you have to be careful of how you speak and address that matter. And if you can lend a hand, if you're such a close friend or family, and you can go to the house and help wash the dishes or clean up something and help straighten the place out and just be there for the person, cook a dinner, a meal, and carry over the family and let them have it and share it, then that's as helpful as bit. Very helpful. But the loss of a life in terms of a friend or family is one of the ultimate drawbacks in life. And Shippy the Explorer, I'm not an expert I can just give you my opinion. That's what I would suggest based on what have been taught, in terms of from religion and all that. And I can say to be kind, and sometimes not. I think you can be yourself to a certain extent, but when you start to give the reason for death, and you're assuming, you have to be careful how you say that. Sometimes you have to encourage a person to live and remember the good moments in life. Say to the family how you love them and how their loved ones that are gone, how they were wonderful and thing. And let's celebrate the life of a life well lived. Remember the good moments, the good acts of that person. Remember the jokes, remember the light saying, remember the laughter, remember the kindness of that person, and you'll be surprised that it helps to pass the time away. So now this is something you will never forget, especially if you're really close to a person. You'll never forget those person until you pass yourself. You'll never forget them. I grew up with my aunt and grandmother, and especially my aunt. And when I was in my teens, she passed. And I can remember the day at the funeral. And until now, more than 50, 60 years have gone. And I can still remember my loved one. And there's a point of time then, not a day don't pass that I don't remember that person. And what I have to do now is, as the mind come, the loss come to me, then I switch to the good moments of my loved one. And so I learned to continue living with that loss. So you'll never forget. Never forget. So we are back to, so that's it. That's the ultimate loss until we too pass away. But then we don't know. As a Christian, we expect to rise with the new coming in heaven. But that's religious part. Some of people who are watching this are not necessarily religious, so I stay away from that right now. So back to the small item. And I'm going to tell you a story really a little bit. Sometimes the small item that you have lost, you can't find in your household or in your office or the workplace for that matter, is more dramatic and stressful on your body than if you had lost a big item. So for instance, I lose these items now that I somewhat treasure them. Can't find those coins. And believe it or not, that's bothering me more than if I had lost, say for instance, a motorbike or a car. Because the car, you sometimes just say, okay, let's replace that thing. Unless it's a special car. But the big item is less important than the small item. And so, Shippy the Explorer, I'm going to continue thinking of where I might have misplaced this item. And since I don't have a lot of people in the house, I can't accuse anybody of moving it. Only myself. And I keep the hope alive that I'll one day come across that item that I've lost. Because that just happened a while ago. It just happened a while ago. It's more than about 2 years now. I've been looking for a folder with music of Caribbean songs, Jamaican songs, folk songs, and songs that I've sung at functions, and books with songs, historical songs, and paper with music on it. Songs that I've performed. And believe me, I've been looking for that document, that folder for almost 2 years now. 2 years. And it's just and 45 minutes ago, folks, I found them. I found the folder. It's in a bag. I was looking for a folder, and now I found the music, the sheet music, in a bag. I'd carry a traveling bag. I said, look at this. I'm looking for something that I've lost recently, and now I've found something that I've lost a long time ago, and didn't give up, but my mind wasn't set on it every day, because I was thinking maybe I'd cleaned out the house, I cleaned up some paperwork, and I'd shredded some documents, and maybe the music was with it. But the music books and the paper and the music, sheet music, they're still here in the household, just found. So that's just like my wife said, give your time, give yourself some time, and maybe one day the things you're looking for will come to light. And so, this is Shippy the Explorer taking you through a roller coaster of loss today. Taking you through the emotions of loss. And I think I do know some of you relate to that. But hopefully my words are words of encouragement, so that you don't go crazy. Or, well, I say go crazy, get upset that you can't find it. Don't beat up on yourself too much that you can't find this item. And I'm going to do the same. I'm going to preach to myself that I hope I can take a more relaxed feeling of whatever will come out of this incident. I'm not going to beat up myself. Because, why? Because Shippy is alive and fairly well. That's the question. That's the answer to this. Once you have health and you have life, you can live another day. You can move on to the next day. You can move to another situation and just go about your daily activities. And if you are finding limbs and is not able, you're not moving as it used to be, then, and if you are thinking, think positively and help set yourself in a frame of mind where make yourself relax and pleasant to your own self. And so I would say, be good to yourself. Don't beat up yourself if you lose anything. Think that it's material stuff to a certain extent, and if you're healthy and life persists, we said, all right, we can go into a new day and restart, recalibrate our actions, our mind, our thinking, and live. Learn and live and lighten up. Shippy the Explorer is feeling better that I have spoken to you. And hopefully, if you're facing some situation, hopefully you're feeling better after you hear this tape. Thanks for watching. Do share. Do subscribe if you like these type of stories and situational talk. And as I said again, be good to yourself and others. Bye for now. This is Ship It Explorer saying, walk good.